October 25th, 2016, the most anticipated Dragon Ball game maybe ever, is Xenoverse 2. And on this video, I'm going to talk about what to expect from Xenoverse 2 from somebody who's actually played it.
Lord Frieza demands that you subscribe to this channel and follow Mr. Geekdom on these social media platforms.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 coming this October, and a few very lucky people have gotten to play this game ahead of time, and I know a big chunk of my audience, all of you guys, including myself, are going to try this game out because it looked really, really awesome. I did a reaction to the trailer on the channel, and I wish I was out in the West Coast, even though I love it here in Florida. Had I been there, I would have been one of the lucky ones to actually play this fucking game ahead of time. But joining me on this video, somebody who has played this game, who's going to break down and analyze and talk about exactly what's going on. In fact, I want each and every one of you to pause the video and then go subscribe to his channel. I'll put a link down below, and I'll probably put an annotation as well, because he's doing actual breakdowns of the gameplay, of the new characters. I love the way this man works. Plus, there's a lot of other shit to watch on his channel. Please welcome Whoop-Bam! C Reacts.
Ooh, I don't even know if I should Whoop-Bam now, but we'll just throw it in there anyway. Whoop-Bam! What's up, everybody? Geekdom, I just gotta say, you give the best intros. Like, they're so formal and so beautiful, and I would just say that I finished about 3 times in my pants. But, yeah, Xenoverse 2 stuff. Yeah.
Well, I finished in my pants when I saw that damn trailer.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody did. The first and the second one. I mean, I'm not sure what the general approach should be here. So are we just going to go over some of the big changes or just overall feel?
I will just like the GT song said, hold my hand, and we'll get through this. So like I said, folks, go sub to Dion. He's got on C Reacts, he's got tons and tons of videos on Xenoverse 2. Got to play it. What I wanted to ask you, okay, Rhyme Style sent me a text, and he said that this game is perfect. Now, obviously, no video game can actually be perfect. There are some that have come close, though. GTA 5 is one that comes to mind. Just, you know, great classic games. Mario Brothers 3, if you want to take it back. This is, in your opinion, so far from what you've played, do you think Xenoverse 2 is at least a top-tier Dragon Ball game, or do we not have enough information yet to say that?
I mean, it's a little bit of both, and I have to rebuttal a little bit and just say, yes, you said no game is perfect, and I think that's true to an extent, but I think it's a lot like a relationship, right? Like, no girl is perfect, or for girls that are watching this, no guy is perfect.
Except me.
And me. You're watching 2 perfect beings right now. If you watch some of my videos, you'll see some Syriac cell action. But anyways,
yes.
No girl is perfect for any guy, and no guy is perfect for any girl. This all has a moral. We'll come back to Xenoverse 2, I promise. But I think everyone is perfect for someone. So it's a matter of, is this game perfect for the Dragon Ball community? Because obviously you have IGN. They might be like, oh, this was bad for here and this. But like, as a true Dragon Ball Z fan, from my initial reaction from playing, you know, it was a demo. So obviously, yes, you're right in terms of we can't judge the full game based off of, you know, a demo. It would be ludicrous.
Yeah.
But from what I have seen, this does have the potential, because it's just building on the shoulder of giants. People regard Xenoverse 1, some people, not everyone, some people still say Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but people regard Xenoverse 1 as the best Dragon Ball game ever. Some people, not everyone. There's going to be some people who disagree. And I think Xenoverse 2 takes what Xenoverse 1 was, and they legitimately, like Bandai, they've confirmed that they listened to fan feedback. Like, Xenoverse 2 was built on fan feedback. So with that in mind, you're taking everything that was good about Xenoverse 1 and adding on to it. And adding on, you know, in-depth mechanics, which I'm sure I'll be, you know, we'll get to that later. But overall, long answer, I would like to say that this game has the potential to be the perfect game for a Dragon Ball Z fan.
Yes. Now, let's talk about some of the... first of all, real quick, we don't know too much about the story mode. We do know that they're facing the Time Breakers again, which, of course, I've talked about in on my channel that the concept of the Time Breakers of Mira and Toa originated in Dragon Ball Online, was carried over to Heroes and now Xenoverse. We know for a fact that you are going to be playing through the series again. However, there are some new twists. You're going to get to play through some of the Bardock stories, the History of Trunks story. You're going to get to play through some of the movie characters that are now being involved. So the whole timeline is getting jacked up here. I think that the reason why Xenoverse 1 was so great is because it provided a new story. I think that for years, and I was guilty of this, dude. I got so sick of Raditz Taboo, Budokai 2.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Every game, man, Raging Black. Well, they did a little different, but still. And now we have a new story. So the movie characters. Let's talk about some of the new characters that are going to be in this game. We have confirmation of. We have Broly. We have Janemba. We have Gogeta, which I'm curious to ask you about that. We have Lord Slug. We have Turles. We have Cooler. I
think that's everyone who's been confirmed so far.
So we're missing Hirudegarn, Android 13, Bojack, Dr. Guido, and Garlic Jr. Is that it? Are we missing anybody else? No, we don't have any confirmation of Hachiak.
Yeah, those guys could be in the game, and Hachiak has appeared in the game before. He was in Raging Blast 2.
And he was in Battle of Z, I think.
Honestly, if I had to, short answer is everything Geekdom just said is correct. Like, we have, the demo has revealed that we have Janemba and Gogeta, and then, through trailers we've seen Cooler, and so on and so forth, Lord Slug, etc., etc. But I would like to say that Dimps has said that this is going to be the most, quote, the most detailed Dragon Ball game ever. And that's a very bold statement, because we've had some very detailed games in the past. But with that said, if I had to guess, I think, and this is a guess, this hasn't been confirmed, I think we're going to get every major villain from every single one of the Dragon Ball movies. If I had to guess.
Do you expect Timebreaker Bardock? That's a big one people have been asking for.
Honestly, I don't know why they would emphasize Bardock see, obviously they didn't reveal Timebreaker Bardock in the trailer, but I do, and once again, obviously this is a guess, but with the thought that they took so much, time in analyzing fans' feedback of Xenoverse 1, and they're trying to make this the most detailed game. Both of those two things synchronized lead me to believe that they're going to add Timebreaker Bardock, just because you have a huge following for this guy, and you're catering to the fans on so many different levels. Like, we saw Cooler teaming up with Frieza. How long have people been talking about that? I mean, I'd be surprised if there was no Timebreaker Bardock, but we'll see.
Yeah, by the way, folks, you should see in the background, you should see clips of Dion actually playing the game. So, of course, if you want to hear what he has to say and hear the breakdown, definitely go to his channel and sub, of course, and watch all those videos. Now, you got to play the game. What would you say are some of the features the fans have been asking for that have been implemented into this game in the actual combat, other than just the characters?
All right, so many. And obviously this is going to hit home for people who, really got into Xenoverse and, has a lot of you don't need an extreme amount of battle experience, but there's definitely some noticeable differences. And I think, to start, Super Saiyan in Xenoverse 1, it took up an ultimate slot, and what that essentially meant is you have 2 slots for ultimate attacks like Super Kamehameha, Spirit Bomb, etc., etc. And how it was in Xenoverse 1 is one of those would have to be replaced with Super Saiyan, so it took up a whole slot, so you don't get 2 ultimates. So it made Super Saiyan a little less appealing. And all Super Saiyan was a spam fest. So pretty much you'd be able to have infinite ki right when you went Super Saiyan, and that's all it was. So you could just keep chucking your best move over and over and over and over again. And that's all it was. But in Xenoverse 2, they made it more of a power-up, which is reminiscent of Infinite World and Budokai 3, some of the older Dimps games, which means...
Burst Limit.
Yeah, and Burst Limit, where it's essentially just giving you extra power, like extra oomph to your attacks. It'll still drain ki. I mean, it doesn't drain ki. Your attacks still drain ki. So if I fire a Kamehameha, I'm still losing ki. But I have that power-up, so it makes the Kamehameha more valuable. However, you're not gaining any ki for basic attacks. So it's still debilitating, but it's not as, I guess, quote-unquote, as said by the fans, some people regarded it to be overpowered in the first.
So now it's more balanced, is what you're saying.
It's more balanced, and it doesn't take up an ultimate slot anymore. So you can have 2 ultimate attacks and you get Super Saiyan. And the coolest or the most uniquely new feature that none of us were expecting, like Dino Afro and I in Dino's rhyme style for if anybody who doesn't know, when we saw this feature, this is where we were just like, yo, what the, like, what, oh my goodness. And then so pretty much you can go Super Saiyan 1, 2, and this is the big reveal, is Super Saiyan 3 with a created character.
That was the big one.
Yeah. That was huge. And what was more beautiful about that is because the functionality of Super Saiyan has completely changed on the level that I said, you know, from a combat perspective earlier, but it also changed in terms of you can go all 3 forms and it takes up 1 slot. So previously, if you want a Super Saiyan 1 and 2, okay, there's both of your ultimate slots. You can go Super Saiyan 1 and you can also go Super Saiyan 2. It was pointless. But in this, it's 1 slot straight for transformations. You can go Super Saiyan 1 with X amount of ki, with a little bit more ki, Super Saiyan 2.
That brings the question, though, okay, that begs the question. Other races are going to get transformations, too.
That's what's been theorized. We can't confirm that, and I don't know.
To balance the game, I mean, you know, right? That's why I'm saying that. Because if they have a transformation slot, what else is going to go in there if I pick a Namekian, for example, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, that was the case with Xenoverse. There was no transformation slot for Xenoverse 1, but there was still Super Saiyan. And a big complaint, and like I said, you have to keep in mind, Dimp said they're listening to fans. So I'll say that much. And I'm not going to confirm anything because I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if other races got transformations, because previously Saiyans had Super Saiyan and nobody else had anything other than like Kaioken, or there was, you know, you later after DLC Pack 3 you got the unlocked potential or mystic form.
Yeah.
And that was the one every race could use. Other than that, it was just Super Saiyan. So what I'm trying to say is I think there's a reason for the transformation slot to cater to more of the races. It made sense from a design aspect, actually, for Super Saiyan to be an Ultimate in Xenoverse 1, because only Saiyans had it, so you need to kind of debilitate them a little bit. But if there's a whole slot for transformations, I think it's only reasonable to suspect that we get transformations with all the other races this game.
I really hope that Frieza's race has like the fucking, you know, the alien form.
Dildo form.
Yeah.
Dildo Frieza.
I want Dildo Frieza real bad up my ass. Now,
long head whoa. All right, I'm going to just let him roll over that. Keep going.
No, okay, about the combat. Noticed a couple things first of all, I will say this about Xenoverse 1. I had a lot of trouble getting into that combat system because the whole R2 thing, like, look, or whatever system you're playing it on, I love Burst Limit. I love the older school Dragon Ball games. Getting into the Xenoverse 2 combat, or Xenoverse combat system was kind of it was kind of a hill to climb. For me, are you, in your experience, taking away from your experience with Xenoverse 1, do you think that for new players who did not master Xenoverse 1, who are coming into this fresh, will it be a challenge for them?
It all depends on who you're playing against, because I won't lie. If you run into me, I'm going to give you the... Okay.
The business.
I'll give you the works. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it depends on what like you said, your background. Like, you played, like, the burst limits. It sounds like you played, like, the more 2D fighters, where it's, like, you know, your traditional fighting style, where it's, like, one on one side, one on the other side, on one screen.
Love those games.
Right. So this is definitely a 3D fighter. So I think if you're coming from games, such as, like, Tenkaichi 3, or, like, you know, other games, like Raging Blast, if you're coming from those games, it won't be as difficult for you because you're used to the 3D fighter. You're used to, like, kind of flying around the arena and kind of, like, dictating space and stuff. And your only thing that you'll have to learn is, like, evasive moves. Because to me, and, you know, some people might disagree, Xenoverse 1 was far more in-depth. And this is just my opinion. Don't attack me in the comments, please. Because some people really hate me saying this. But to me, Xenoverse 1 was more in-depth than both Tenkaichi 3 and Raging Blast, and the entire Tenkaichi series and Raging Blast to me. And this is coming from somebody who really, you know, I'm not the best player in the world at Xenoverse, but I can keep up with the best. I'll say that much. And I learned all the details. Long story short, I don't think it would be extremely difficult for somebody. It's just a matter of how good you want to be. You can get through the campaign, but once you jumped into ranked, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, because you're playing against pros. Now, what about the combo system as well as I believe I was reading or hearing about they have guard breaks now and things like that.
So the big change, or one of the big change, at least as it pertains to guard breaking. As a matter of fact, I'll break down the whole combat just as a general summary, really quick.
Yeah, the changes basically is what I'm looking for.
So in Xenoverse 1, to me, this is the best classification I've used, and I'm sticking with it. Xenoverse 1 was a lot more loose than Xenoverse 2. And please don't, I know you're thinking of sexual innuendos, but anyways, Xenoverse 1 was a lot more loose than Xenoverse 2. And what I mean by that is it was easy for, let's say I'm getting attacked by somebody. It was easy for me to fall out of a combo, like to just kind of drift back and just kind of be in the safe zone.
It was the problem that Dragon Ball GT Final Bout had way back in the day, that the hit detection was kind of wonky.
Yes, exactly. Like you could just kind of drift back a little bit. Yeah, if you had no stamina, because normally the way the game was intended is, say I'm fighting you and I get your stamina completely depleted. That's supposed to be my chance to go on the offensive, and it's supposed to be very hard for you. But the way Xenoverse 1 was, since it was so loose, you could just kind of back off a little bit, spam the jump button, et cetera, go up and down, and I couldn't catch you. I wouldn't be able to catch you just because my hits wouldn't connect. But in Xenoverse 2, that has been like absolutely corrected to the point that it even threw me off a little bit, because I've mastered certain mechanics that I expected to be there. But then like I went up against Rhymestyle and I was trying to like do certain things that worked in Xenoverse 1, just like basic mechanics, like my stamina's low, I'm just gonna go down. Like I click the button to go down, like to go back to the ground, and like I just got caught. And I was like, okay, I want to try some stuff. And you can literally fly away from somebody and they can catch you. Like they can fly up to you and catch you. So I would like to say Xenoverse 2 is a lot more of an aggressive game, whereas Xenoverse 1 was a lot more evasive, at least on the competitive side. Like you have to dodge, then attack, dodge, then attack, dodge.
Yeah, which was annoying. But this game's more like in your face, like from what you're telling me. So people who are enthusiasts of combos would dig this game more, is what you're telling me.
Yes, and I was actually about to touch on something regarding to that. Is another thing that they change, and it seems like a small difference, but it's actually a huge difference, is on the ground combos. And it sounds just like what it implies exactly what it sounds like. Is if I hit the ground in Xenoverse 1, if I was on the ground, I was safe. I could like wait for myself to, and that's ridiculous, especially if you've seen Dragon Ball Z. Once you hit the ground, you got people charging at you, throwing blasts down at you. In Xenoverse 1, once you hit the ground and you're laying there, if your animation has stopped, you're not taking any damage from anybody. You're safe. Yes. If you ran out of stamina, you could just lay there, wait for your stamina to come back and get back in action. Xenoverse 2 changes that dramatically. It changes that dramatically.
God.
And you can fly down and you can actually throw people from the ground, punch them off of the ground and continue your combo, throw an ultimate attack, etc. And yeah, so it changes the scape completely.
Shit. They're cleaning up a lot of cheap shit. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about these guard cancels I keep hearing about? What is that story behind that?
Guard canceling?
I remember there was something about you can rip through somebody's guard.
Oh, okay. So in Xenoverse 1, what they updated here is in Xenoverse 1, you could break somebody's guard, and that was standard. Like that was in Xenoverse 1. But what they changed is, and what that would do is that would kill their stamina. In Xenoverse 2, what it happens is you can basically destroy their stamina without them guarding. So there's a heavy shot, pretty much. It's a very slow attack, but it's a heavy basic shot, and it'll kill your opponent's stamina. And so that changes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I see. So it's just like he leans back, he'll cock back, he'll nail you. And if you get caught, your stamina is gone. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, and just like what I was saying earlier, that's very much more punishing nowadays because you're going to get caught and you're going to get fucked up. So you have to be a lot more cautious about how you're using your stamina.
What about the stages? People want like destructible stages. I've seen the clips that's a little bit destructible, but I don't know if we're going to get like buildings getting wrecked and shit. Like I don't see that. But what was your experience?
We don't have that confirmation yet, but we haven't seen like city maps yet. So I would say that's still in the water. We can't confirm nor deny that yet. It's just there's just like little aesthetic things like pebbles floating around. So that's that's a new thing, and then there's like, you know, your standard creators, but we don't know how destructible things can get yet. So we'll have to just stay tuned for that.
How important do you think that strategy is going to be in this version of the game versus the previous one when it comes to online matches and picking different races? Because one of the things about Xenoverse that I think can make it a great game is that if it's actually not like Tenkaichi 3. And again, I don't want to I don't want to get hate comments for this, but one of the issues with Tenkaichi 3 was that a lot of the characters were very, very, very similarly played.
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste. Yeah, it was cool to play as them, but it was just too much of the same thing. Does Xenoverse do like? I know you only got to play with like 9 characters, I think, but are they different enough to where you can develop strategies with different characters?
By all means, I do believe so, and it has a little bit to do with your super attacks and a little bit to do with your combos. Like Goku is very fast, I noticed, and you know he's always been fast, just like with his standard combos. Like it's hard to get away from that fuck, and I think it's just like, you know, how it should be in the series. Goku's a nasty guy, and like if he starts punching me one way, I teleport behind him. Next thing I know, he's in my face again, still punching me. I'm like, what the hell? Like stuff like that. But then you have some slower fighters like Lord Slug. He literally, his arms are like stretching with every single punch, sort of thing. So like he's more of a player. Yeah, exactly. But he's slower, so that's the trade-off. You're a little slower, but you have much bigger reach than other people. And so short answer, obviously we've only seen a few. And Janemba's just all over the place with this little reality shifting teleportation.
I can't wait to play as him, bro.
So, and he's more evasive, and he still has his sword and everything. So, I would say from what we've seen so far, yes.
What can you tell us about the created characters? Is there anything that you know?
I don't.
The custom characters.
We weren't able to create characters when Bandai let us get our hands on the game. We kind of had a pre-created character already, just kind of a general mascot. So I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what new features they'll have in this, other than the fact that your custom created character can go Super Saiyan 3, and he has Super God Fist. If you guys played Xenoverse, that's the dramatic punch that everybody wanted, and they catered to that, so people will have that.
What about lag online? We don't know about the online lag yet, but do you know if they're making efforts to fix any kind of online lag, if there is any?
I think
that ruined Battle of Z, brother.
Right. I think it was the biggest issue was the hit detection, and I think it was in combination. It was somewhere. The reason why it was so bad in Xenoverse 1, or some people had so much trouble with it in Xenoverse 1, is because it was a mixture. It was a blend between the lag, like if you could have a little bit of lag. But since the hit detection was already, like the hitboxes were already a little bit too wonky without lag, those two simultaneously is what gave people such a hard time. But I think now that the hit detection is so much more fluid and just like true to like, you know, positioning of characters, I think that, you know, long story short, we don't know yet. We don't know because we only played local, obviously. But once we try it, once again, this is an assumption, I would guess that we'll be okay.
Okay, before we get out of here, again, everybody go subscribe to C Reacts, and it ain't just Xenoverse stuff. There's a lot of great stuff there, parodies.
Ridiculous.
Very unusual super reviews. And when I say unusual, I don't mean bad. I mean not the usual. What else do you want to talk about that you can talk about the game? Is there anything that stuck out to you that needs to be mentioned? I absolutely loved the stages. The Gogeta stage looked incredible, being in that fucked up hell. I'm very excited to go and play through some of these movie, I guess, plots or whatever. But
Me too.
What else can you tell us?
I guess my last note is just there's always a loud minority. I think for the most part, this game is actually getting very, very good hype. Like there's always, like when Xenoverse 1 was coming out, it was the very first of its kind. You know, Xenoverse 1. So people have negative, you know, thoughts going into it because, you know, they had Battle of Z before it. They had Ultimate Tenkaichi before it. But Xenoverse 2 seems to be building on the shoulders of giants. And I just have to tell you guys, if there's anyone who has any negative thoughts about this game, wait till you get your hands on it. I can't say whether there will or will not be a demo for the general public, or at least when.
There has to be one.
I would. Right. I don't know when. I don't know when that'll happen. But I do want to just say that if anyone has any doubts, please just get your hands on this and, you know, feel it out a little bit before you make any. Yeah, I would say this with anything, you know, whether it be a game or a series, like really, really learn it before you try to make an opinion on it, because in my opinion, this does have the potential to be what you said earlier, and that's the perfect Dragon Ball Z game.
Yeah, and hell, we this ain't gonna be the last one because Super's still going on.
Oh, no
I mean,
way.
dude, I'm pretty sure if we're gonna get Black and Future Trunks, that's probably gonna be a DLC pack. I'm almost 100% sure of that if we're gonna get it. But if not, Xenoverse 3 is still coming. So as it's gonna come unless
It's got to
they-
happen.
hey,
If Dragon Ball is still going, see, that's the thing. Dragon Ball Super is mad successful. We can agree on that,
yeah,
right?
no, it is. It is. There's no denying it. It is. It's in the top.
It was right
10
under
every
One
week.
Piece, right?
Huh?
It was right under One Piece, right?
Well, for episode 47, it was in Japan, but internationally, Dragon Ball is bigger, which is kind of weird because the only country that has like distribution for it is like some Asian countries and France. But Toei Toei's so weird. Toei knows that Super's being watched online, but they're not licensing it. Like, just hurry the fuck up and make it legal.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
I
get
don't
into that
know.
whole thing. They're weird.
That's
Funny.
that's another video. That's a whole nother video in and of itself. But what I was alluding to is Dragon Ball Super is killing it. There's going to be an English version eventually. Hasn't been confirmed, but we can only assume eventually. And Dragon Ball Xenoverse is a part of Dragon Ball, obviously, And if that's doing well, if both of these are doing well, it's one series. And, they had Golden Frieza and the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Goku in Xenoverse 1 as DLC before the movie came out at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same. Nothing's confirmed here, let me make that clear, but I would not be surprised at all if we got the exact same treatment with Dragon Ball Super in form of DLC, which I think most people would be all right with.
Yeah, I want to play as Champa real bad, bro.
Oh, they might. I wouldn't be surprised if we started with Champa. I mean, just honestly, I don't know. That's not confirmed again, but I just have a feeling like the newer characters, like Goku Black or Hit, maybe not. But Champa, he's had his head poking around ever since Super was first announced. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got it. But that's a guess. That's a guess.
Dokkan Battle already has them on the front page, and they haven't even announced a dub yet.
Right. We'll see. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And I'm sure everybody who's in the comment section below is in all types of anticipation.
Yeah, and definitely leave a comment and let us know what feature you're looking forward to the most. Personally, I have a feeling that you're probably looking forward to I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm guessing you're looking forward to kicking somebody's ass online.
I want to be number one.
The very best, like no one ever was.
I was gonna do the same thing. I was gonna say that. You took my thunder. All right.
Sorry about that. Well, no, I'm looking forward to the story mode. I love the video game quote canon. I love that the Time Breakers idea. I'm looking forward to that more than anything. But we'll see. We'll see. I haven't played an online matchup in any game. This is gonna sound weird, but it's been like a year since I played an online matchup. I think the last one I played was Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So this will get me back into that. But the story mode's what I want to really digest into. What about you? Is it the online matches of being number one?
It's online. It's seeing who the new characters are, and you've seen the Series X. Well, you've at least glanced at like the Series X games themselves. Like I have very unique events planned exclusively for Xenoverse 2, similar to the Series X games, that are going to take it up to another level. So I'm just excited as to what I'm going to be able to do with the community. And yes, I like the community. I want you guys to be a part of it, and just. And being, playing online and learning all the mechanics and stuff. There's a lot. I think everything. Story too, dude. Like, I can't just pick one thing. It's like choosing a child.
Yeah. All right, well, check out C-Reacts, and thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you filling us in with all the new information.
Yeah, no problem. This has been a long time coming. We've been talking for a while, but we just never really got around to collabing, so I'm glad to be a part of this.
And this was perfect. Yeah, but I will have you back next time that you do a wacky a street parody like David Blaine. I'll be sure to promote it.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Man, geek to you. Sorry, never mind. I was gonna make
Smith?
I was gonna make.
Smith?
You know what I'm saying? I was gonna let my.
How come you don't love me, man?
That was an emotional moment for me in my life, man. Yeah. Don't make it a joke. I was gonna make a racist joke, but this is Geekdom's channel, and I don't want to. Yeah.
He
Never
ain't
mind.
gonna teach
Screw
me
it.
about being a father when I have my own kids or whatever, bro.
We should probably just end this before people judge us any more than they already are.
Hey, if you're not a fan of Fresh Prince, I don't even know you. I don't even want to know you.
I'm mad that you said I look. All right, never mind. Well, that's a different topic. We're dragging this.
I
on.
never said you looked like Will Smith. Oh, the hair. The hair.
The-
The hair. Yes, the hair you did. That's right. And now you sound like Will Smith. So
I almost want to make a parody like Fresh Prince of Bel Air, except like Fresh Prince's Universe or something.
that's actually not a bad idea, bro. Like I can't talk about this on the air. All right, we'll talk about it off the air. But check out Z Reacts, and we'll talk to you later.